The airlock hissed open, and Varkon stepped onto the human space station for the first time. His 3 eyes scanned the chaotic scene, humans rushing in every direction, blinking panels, steaming mugs clutched in trembling hands. To a Xeno, it was unnerving. Everywhere he looked, humans consumed the same strange dark liquid from tiny containers. The smell was sharp, almost electric, and his senses flared with readings he had never encountered. His stomach, not built for Earth-like compounds, churned at the intensity. Varkon moved cautiously through the crowd, careful to mimic their gestures. But even as he tried to blend in, a faint tremor ran through his limbs. Something about this planet, about these creatures, was dangerous. More dangerous than any predator he had faced. A human spilled a few drops of the dark liquid on the floor nearby. The smell intensified, and Varkon's senses screamed. His instincts told him to retreat. But curiosity, a trait that had gotten him into trouble before, pushed him forward. Then, a human smiled at him and held out a cup. The word coffee floated across his auditory receptors. Something in their tone, playful, harmless. But Varkon couldn't shake the warning in his own body. He hesitated. One sip. Could that tiny act unleash a storm he wasn't ready for? Varkon's claws grazed the cup. The steam rose, curling around his face. His heart, or whatever functioned as one, fluttered in response. One sip. That's all it would take. And that's when he realized, he had no idea what humans called this poison. Varkon stared at the steaming cup of human coffee, as if it were a live predator. The humans around him laughed and sipped calmly, completely oblivious to the danger they carried in their hands. Curiosity gnawed at him. One sip, he muttered under his breath, claws trembling. Just one sip won't hurt. He tilted the cup and let a tiny droplet touch his tongue. Immediately, a jolt raced through his body, sharp, electric, unbearable. His vision doubled. The colors of the station warped and twisted, flickering unnaturally. His limbs, normally precise and controlled, trembled uncontrollably. What is this? Varkon gasped. His voice cracked in alarm, a sound no human could understand. His chest felt tight, and his alien metabolism screamed in protest. A low hum, like a warning siren, pulsed through his veins. Around him, humans moved like nothing was happening, chatting, laughing, typing on consoles. One waved at him. Varkon tried to wave back, but his claws flailed wildly. His 3 eyes darted in every direction, catching every movement, every flicker of light. Too much information, too fast. Panic set in. He stumbled, knocking over a chair. The humans glanced briefly, but none seemed concerned. The heat in his body surged, his thoughts fractured. He realized, with dawning horror, that what they called coffee was not just a drink. It was a weapon. A poison. And it was coursing through his veins. Varkon clutched his chest, trying to calm himself. But his body had already betrayed him. Thoughts raced too quickly, hands shook uncontrollably, and his senses were on fire. The humans were ordinary, fragile, and yet, somehow, they survived this every day. And he did not. Varkon staggered through the station, every step a battle against his own body. His 3 eyes darted frantically, catching too many details all at once. Blinking lights, scurrying humans, flickering holograms. Each movement sent new jolts of chaos through his veins. His limbs refused to cooperate. Claws flailed, tail whipped uncontrollably, and his entire body vibrated with an energy he had never known. His mind raced, thoughts colliding, multiplying, fracturing. Memories from years ago, moments from yesterday, random calculations, all streamed into his consciousness at once. A human brushed past him, spilling more of that dark liquid onto the floor. Varkon froze. His instinct screamed, "Do not touch it. Do not touch it." But it was too late. The smell hit him, intensifying the chaos inside him. He grabbed onto a console to steady himself, but his hands shook violently, tapping buttons he didn't mean to press. Alarms blared. The humans barely noticed. One laughed at a dropped datapad, another yawned and walked away. Varkon's panic turned to horror. They were immune. They thrived on this poison. He ran, well, as close as his jittering, uncooperative body would allow, through the crowded corridors. Hallways blurred into streaks of color. Voices became 1,000 overlapping echoes. He could hear the station itself humming, alive and mocking him. His stomach churned. His chest throbbed. His head pounded like a war drum. Every thought he tried to focus on splintered into 1,000 directions. This isn't possible. I should be dead. And yet he was alive, agonizingly alive. Varkon realized, with a mix of terror and disbelief, that humans had been hiding something vital, something dangerous in plain sight. This caffeine, this tiny, bitter liquid, was a weapon, a fire running through veins, and he had no defense. He slumped against a wall, trembling violently, watching humans sip casually, their energy endless, their focus sharp. He had entered their world thinking he could study them. Instead, he had become the joke. The creature overwhelmed by a human habit. Varkon collapsed into a quiet corner of the station, claws digging into the floor as his body trembled uncontrollably. Sweat, not quite the same as a human's, but close enough, ran down his alien skin. His mind was a storm of racing thoughts, fragmented memories, and flashes of panic. He watched the humans around him, sipping their dark liquid, chatting, laughing, typing, moving with an energy that was almost supernatural to him. Their motions were fluid, controlled, effortless. Every sip seemed to recharge them, sharpen their focus, and calm their nerves. Varkon's chest heaved. How? How can something so small, so simple, do this? He scrambled, observing quietly, piecing together what his chaotic mind could handle. Humans consumed this coffee daily, sometimes in multiple doses. Some even drank it in small cups back to back. And yet, nothing seemed to harm them. No trembling, no chaos, no hallucinations. They thrived on it. The realization hit him like a meteor. This is not just a beverage. It is the very essence of human strength, their secret weapon hidden in plain sight. Varkon's envy mixed with fear. He imagined the countless Xeno civilizations he had studied, the predators, the poisons, the natural hazards he had survived, none of it compared to this. The human's deadly advantage was microscopic, bitter, and completely unassuming. He shivered violently, struggling to control his limbs. His body still betrayed him. Every thought of escape collided with the jittering chaos inside him. I have to get off this station. I cannot endure another moment of this madness. And yet, even as he plotted his next move, a new thought struck him. If I survive this, I must understand it. I must harness it, or at least, survive among them. But for now, Varkon could do nothing but watch, tremble, and wonder how a species so seemingly fragile had hidden such a deadly secret in every steaming cup. Varkon stumbled toward the docking bay, tail thrashing, claws skidding across the polished floor. The humans were everywhere, oblivious to his struggle, sipping their deadly brew with casual grace. Every step he took made his body quake violently, his thoughts racing faster than he could control. He reached a starship, a sleek vessel meant for interstellar travel, and lunged for the controls. His claws grazed the panels, triggering alarms. Sparks flew. He tried to focus, but caffeine ran riot through his veins, warping perception, amplifying every sense to maddening extremes. Buttons pressed themselves. Levers jerked violently. The ship shuddered. Varkon clutched the console, heart, or whatever functioned as one, hammering in his chest. Just start the engines. His vision doubled, then tripled, then blurred into colors he didn't have names for. Behind him, a human worker glanced at the chaos and shrugged. Weird alien, they muttered, lifting their coffee cup. Varkon growled, or the closest approximation his species could manage, his body convulsing. He tried to reverse out of the docking bay, but the ship wouldn't respond. His hands flew across the controls, each movement frantic, imprecise. Every attempt made the situation worse. Sparks, smoke, warning lights flashing like a chaotic symphony of doom. His three eyes darted wildly. The once mighty Xeno scholar, feared across galaxies for his cunning, was reduced to a jittering, twitching spectacle, utterly powerless before a human habit. Finally, with a violent lurch, the starship's engines roared to life. Varkon slumped against the controls, exhausted, trembling, barely conscious. He had escaped, but only just. Every fiber of his being screamed for relief, yet the caffeine coursing through him refused to let him rest. He stared at the humans walking past, laughing, sipping, thriving. This is their power. Every human, in every corner of the galaxy, armed with this tiny, bitter weapon in their veins. Varkon's pride, his intelligence, his fearsome reputation, all meaningless in the face of caffeine. He had learned too late. And somewhere deep inside, between the tremors and hallucinations, a single thought formed: next time. I will understand it, or I will never leave this planet alive. The station hummed, humans oblivious. The Xeno trembled, plotting, and the galaxy had a new respect for a poison humans called caffeine.